Brent crude futures pair gains at 1.2% off the back of the EIA storage report. According to Politico, Trump says he won't let Israel annex the West Bank. So, a bit more detail in this political article. United Nations says President Donald Trump promised Arab leaders during a meeting on Tuesday that he would not allow Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to annex the West Bank, according to 6 people familiar with the discussion. 2 of those people said Trump was firm on the topic and that the president promised that Israel would not be allowed to absorb the West Bank, which is governed by the Palestinian Authority, not Hamas. The article from Politico is on the feed for those interested.
You guys hear me now? I've been talking this entire time. Hello, hello. Is it working on YouTube as well? Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Yeah, I had to like unplug my mic and plug it back in. Alright, well at least my pathing is good. So stream at least is showing you where I think what we're doing. I don't believe in a breakout on NQ until we can get over 36 to 52. I think it's a joke. We keep going down. Yes, look above and fail. Getting our rotation through. Nothing bullish about any of this movement. That sucks that you couldn't hear me. I was explaining it to you, Roy. Yeah, it sucks. I'm sorry. I should have double checked. Yeah, so we just failed at 718s on the look above, following my pathing, rotating down. If we get below 707, 710, then we will. Dude, I struggled for like 40 minutes today trying to install this new update for OBS. It just like did not happen. It kept corrupting. Stream Elements is broken. Everything is broken. It's just so annoying. And then of course I had to reinstall mic drivers. Like I don't know. Morning, good morning. But yeah, it's very similar to yesterday. If you guys remember what I was talking about, which is just like a consolidation after a sell-off from the morning open. And we are below our 15-minute opening, our 15-minute VWAP on both ES and NQ, which is this purple line. So our Globex VWAP. In what I usually call when I say that like we're below it, what I'm kind of referring to is like our price action and the way that our average price from our Globex sessions, right? So from Asia and from London, we are below the average price. So sell side is in control is basically what I'm saying when I say that. That's kind of like the way that I think about it. Is like sellers are in control and our Globex, we are below our Globex average, right? So every time we come into that line, we should be thinking that that is where people are going to be looking to average down if we want to continue in the trend that we are. So I'm not going to be bullish until we show a very clear interest above that area. I'm just going to be looking at it as a reversion to that level and then a continuation of our sell until proven otherwise. These were below our 30-second opening range. We are consolidating. We're not seeing any interest over it yet. We have a very clear pivot here on NQ at this like 40, right? This is the POC of that candle. This is our value high of this candle. This is our VWAP. So why am I looking for any upside until we pop above that, right? This is just clear resistance. So now we're back into these lows. We'll watch to see if we get another reversion.
US post documents formalizing
Right. So
tariff
far
agreement
today,
with the EU.
we've been showing a lot of interest here into our reversion zone. Then rotate back up. And then do this move again. We need to see if this area is going to hold as resistance. What did I just delete? I deleted something. I don't know. But watch your like 804 here, 805. This is where we're going to want to see sell side actually show interest if they're serious and we're going to continue down, or I just kind of expect that we just rotate right back up, right? From our reversion zone like we have been at these lows. So if we're serious about our seller, they will hold this and then rotate us down. If we're just going to revert back up and consolidate, do this another rotation, right? We'll do something like so from here. But let's see what happens. Not expecting a ton right now, right? ES held our lows and Q is holding our lows so far from our reversion area. But if we fail to get back above ETH low and our value here, then that's a good sign that we want to continue down, right? We won't do another rotation of this rectangle that we're trading in. We just have to watch. That's the green box is called our reversion zone. It's based off our it's an indicator. So you get a green and red box for each period. And this is showing us where we expect price to revert back to value if we're in a balanced market. These are our extremes. This is math-based. So it's a deviation of our value area. And in a balanced market, we expect price to come into these areas and revert back to our value edges, which are this line here and this line here.
Microsoft partners with OpenAI rival
EVZ.
Anthropic on AI Copilot.
That is what that indicator is. And that's just a 15-minute view up? Yeah, from Globex. The purple line. It's on both ES and NQ. With ETH on. And I need to see that go offer for me to care. Like we have drawn. My guess is that we're probably headed down to like 695 today. But we need to very clearly break below this like 710. And then we can do this lower rotation into ADR low down here. This is my overall idea that's probably going to happen on the day. That's my thought. But it seems like it's going to be a decent amount of effort to get through this pivot here at this like 707, 710 and actually hold. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be this rotation or if it'll be the next, but this does feel kind of like the general idea for the day. Kind of heading down to previous week value high. If we continue to fail, I guess we shall see.
So a bit more into this article from Microsoft. Microsoft will start using artificial intelligence models from Anthropic to help power its workplace AI assistant, adding a significant partner to a product that has so far been predominantly driven by OpenAI. Starting on Wednesday, business users of Microsoft's Copilot branded AI assistant will be able to toggle between OpenAI and Anthropic models for certain functions, including
Oh,
digital research
Anthropic.
assistance and help
Yeah, he
building
says that's so
customized
strange.
AI tools.
Kind of just expect bids to be here into this low for short term, right? Somewhere in like this area. We just kind of rotate this back and forth for a bit, and then we'll decide on a direction. But again, like this is our pivot. It's our reversion zone, the 780, 790. Downside, clearly in control still, very clear down, push down here with our POCs, with price being unable to hold above. But I kind of just am expecting balance for short term right now between our two pivots on both NQ and ES. We're going to need to see a very clear seller sweep us through this if we're going to go down further. So we'll see. They're trying, but there's also a bid here at 795 that is also trying. Reversion would just be a pop over 805. That gives you a rotation back to 805. Shells. I don't know. My pathing's pretty good. Need to get below this for the downside move. Build below that value edge, or we're just going to revert back up.
EU's Callas says, I want faster phase out of Russian fossil fuels.
Is Glock here? I see him in chat. How's the bot volume to my voice volume today? The bot's very quiet for me, so I'm hoping that it's okay for you. Okay. Good, good, good.
EU's Foreign Minister Callas says, I'm concerned by China's coercive economic practices.
All right, let's see what we do here. Sell side is definitely trying. Into our lower edge on both NQ and ES, also leading down. We would need like 800. Be a pretty clear offer. Like I need us below this for price to actually be able to do anything. If we continue to just hold here, is not enough. We will just rotate back through. Let me make sure you guys are getting added to this, actually. $20, only 15s. Yes, is looking good. See if we can actually hold this. 710 was a decent hold. R2I still leading down. I would love to see 80 to 90 hold offer on NQ. On open of new 15s. We can't get below this 80 offer. It's gonna be very hard for us to actually get any sort of excitement. Hmm. Another attempt below 780. But we need this guy to sweep. Or we're just gonna absorb here and trap. This not being over. Super annoying. Another failure at
US stock
80s.
index about flat in choppy trading.
Into our value edge here. I'm gonna do a watch. I wish my lines were showing up on both charts. I don't understand why it's not happening. New drawings not be safe. Now they will be? Oh, okay. It'll work now? Yeah, okay. That was odd. All right, back to normal. The only way sell side gets controls if we can show interest below 780. Until then, it's balanced. Same thing on ES below this like 707, 710. It's got to hold. We're basically depending on Russell for continuation down. The lead. I think we're probably headed up to like 25, 30. It'll just be like a 50K. I don't know. I don't control that stuff. Up to Tom what he wants to give away. Yeah, there shouldn't be much more here until we show interest over this seller here. So this is a good first risk off, but if we can show interest over I think like 810-ish, I think we rotate up to like 830, 840. Just need to see how we interact here and do our high. I don't know. It's so slow. But very clear absorption down at 780. Not a bad motto. I mean, just to give perspective for everyone else, this is what we saw into that low on foot up, so that you guys, it's a good example of why that 780 became pretty important here. This is what we saw. We saw like all of these sellers getting absorbed down here into this low, and it could become like a pretty aggressive sell if we were able to get follow through below the 780. But what we saw happen instead is like this bid started to be here after we saw these guys. And so now it's like do or die, right? If we don't see the seller step through this and then trap these guys and then offer again, I'm expecting kind of just a reversion back up this high here. And so that's kind of what's happening right now. And so all we're doing is kind of expecting a reversion to this primary seller here and then a secondary seller here into 40s at this point. If we can see someone get trapped here and then rotate us down like so, that would be beautiful for the continuation. But without it, it just looks kind of like this is our low and this is our first target and this is our secondary target right now. I don't know. That's all I see. We need follow through down here into these lows and some excitement, and someone to be trapped for this to matter. That trap can happen at 810, and then we can look below 80s, and that could lead to downside. Or if the bid is able to hold the 780 and we're able to then bid over 810s, I'd expect a reversion then up to 830, 840. That's kind of the idea right now. We're just watching to see where sell side positions themselves up into these highs. So we just tagged our 810, right? So that was our first primary seller that we could be looking at. What we're going to be watching for now is to see if we put in a higher low here at 790. If we hold this as supportive after testing into that seller and then can bid above, a good sign that we'll go for our secondary, which is a bit higher, right? Going up into this high to do the full value move. But let's say that this sell side is in control and we fail to push back above and this lower high continues, right? Then we can look for that move below for a continuation node. Just balance. Sub 60. $30 till new 15s. So on average, your trades have 100 to 300 points gain. What? On NQ? No. I mean, it depends on how you consider points. Are you talking about with a single contract? 100 to 300 points? Or are you talking about like 3 contracts, 20 points each? I mean, it depends on the day type, man. Some days we don't have 300-point ranges for a lot of the day. Sometimes we're stuck in a 20-point range or a 50-point range for, hours and hours and hours. But it really just depends. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten like the last couple streams we've been able to get our runner for like 100 points. Yeah, definitely. But I usually am taking profit as we go up, right? So it's usually like we've taken 15 points, we've taken 30 points, then we have like a runner that keeps running, and then that goes to 100 points. But like all together with like the contracts that we trade, yeah, we take in a decent amount, but that I never hold full size through to target. Never. I'm not that guy. I secure gains so that my stops are free. Does that make sense what I'm saying by my stops are free? I take off enough risk where it'll cover my stop for my remaining contracts. It depends on the trade, man. I mean, it really depends. I trade both micros and minis. Just depends on the day. Some days I like to be able to add in. If we're in a more volatile market, I will trade micros a lot of the time so that I can average in and out in lots of 5. If we're in a pretty balanced auction, I'll trade minis because I know the volatility is lower and I can up my leverage a bit and have pretty defined stops because we are in a very clear balance and we have very defined edges of risk. And so I can expect to trade more size with tighter stops. But if we're in a more volatile market, then I want to be trading less contracts with more flexibility, right? So micros and larger stops. So that it would give me the ability to pyramid into a trade. It just really depends on the day type and what makes more sense. Yeah, so 810 trap still holding. We're looking for this person below 780, 790 to now sustain here if we're going to be able to continue down. We need to see a very clear sweeper. And it's literally just a balance trade. We had to look above, we failed to push through our pivot, and then we rotated down. We should see a reoffer here of 780. That'd be my guess. If we're going to get the continuation down, or this will be a trap, and then we will pop these highs. So watch to see how we interact here. We want to see a very clear offer and hold if we're going to continue down. But this is the literal footprint trade that I just walked you through. And we're following our path that got ES. Well, from our primary pivot up at 718, our flip 707. We should head down to our 695, 698 on ES. I think we'll probably do one retest here, retest our value edge, and then head down. That'd be my guess of like what the actual movement looks like. Let's see. But we should expect a little bit of a bid here at this like 703, and then we should watch for a retest into this edge. Yeah, I don't have any like defined rules where it's like I have to trade this thing with this size. It's like, well, do I feel like I'm comfortable enough to trade X amount of contracts with X stop, right? Like, does that feel good today, or does that feel bad today? If it feels good, then I'll continue doing it, and I'll potentially add if I'm feeling confident. If it's feeling bad, if I'm losing too much, or if I feel like I'm taking off too much size too quickly, then I'll adjust, right? Like it doesn't need to be so locked, right? Like you are a human being with the ability to make decisions, and you understand how you trade and what makes sense, right? Like knowing like what I do and my risk profile is not going to be beneficial to you, because you are your own person and you make your own decisions and your own poor decisions as well, right? Like you could from personal experience, I know that you could follow along every single thing I do and still blow up, because you're not going to risk off at the same levels as me. You're going to leave runners. You're not going to stop out at the same levels as me because you don't have the same account size as me, right? Like you can't take as many L's, or you are going to be greedy in your wins and hold them back to break even, right? Like there's so many like things that can happen where um your own brain is going to get in the way of actually winning, or you're going to take one of the 6 trades that I give, and that's that one trade that you didn't take is going to be the winner because you were emotionally scarred because you over leveraged in the last attempted trade, right? There's so many things where it's like, okay, like I'm up on the day, but you're not because you over leveraged on one trade, and now you're too scared to actually commit to the secondary trade. Like it's really tough. So like you have to know what size you're comfortable with and what size is going to allow you to continue to trade if you lose. Like it is so important for your account size to be trading within your parameters, right? All right, this is a very important retest on both ES and NQ. This is where we're expecting that secondary offer if they're going to hold strong, just like we drew out. This is our retest, our pivot on both ES and on NQ. These need to hold. We need to see absorption here if we're going to continue downward. If we do not, we will have, instead of an offside buyer into our highs, right, and then a continuation down, we have a potential to have an excess at our lows, and then we'll rotate up off of this. So this is incredibly important to see if we're going to get this continuation down or not. We want this edge to hold. Looks good so far. retesting our low here on ES off of our hold of our 707, our value edge. Very clear offer at 780, allowing 20 points so far here, retesting our lows. It's a great first risk off. If you didn't get in at our highs at 810, it's a great first move here for a risk off. Now let's see if we can get follow through or if this fails. Need to take out these lows. Again, like if can't take out lows and this pivot doesn't hold, then we can absorb this guy will get absorbed, and then we look for a bid back over and play this as our risk again for upside. So we'll see. The same as usual. Always the same. We define an edge, we trade around said edge. Hello, Grotto.
Bonja.
Hello, hello.
I got a little time now if you want to do the giveaway now. Otherwise, it's going to be in like an hour from now.
Yeah. I said around 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a little early.
We can do it then. I just know you were trying to.
Yeah, I'd like to start around like 12:45-ish and then be done by like 1:10 if that's something that's you're able to do.
Yep, totally able to do that. Just
Okay.
just like I had 25 minutes here, so I figured I'd pop in and
Yeah,
see.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Anthony even joined the stream, like the Anthony. Wanted you to give him a shout out.
Anthony?
He says he misses you.
Oh, I thought that was Garoto. I saw Torres. What's up, Anthony?
No, that's
That's
Ant.
Ant. Yeah. My bad, man.
Mr. Bombs for Baghdad.
Yep, yep. All right, I've taken off a little bit of risk here into these lows, but our pivot is still holding. We're just watching to see if we can continue to build below here. Potential 3-bar down, no change really. We have 2 minutes left on this candle, but I'm seeing a decent amount of absorption into these lows so far, so I'm a bit worried that we might need to do one full look back up into like 780, 790. I want to see the seller really start to hammer this. We're going to continue down short term. At no point do I think like anything is invalidated that we've talked about. I just think that it might get a little choppy here for the next 2 minutes. I'm just taking a little risk off.
All right, I'll be back in an hour and we'll do marbles. We're going to give away a really nice account today. Just FYI, everyone, we're going to give away, I believe it's a growth account, so no activation fees. Everything's free. We'll do a 50K. We're going to do 5 races, winner take all, and go from there. So good luck, everyone, in an hour, and I'll see you then.
EC
All right,
President
thanks,
Tom
Tom.
with the post on X says, I had a good and frank discussion with Chinese Premier Li Guang.
It says, we discussed trade matters and Europe's concerns regarding export controls and market access and overcapacity are well known, and that she appreciates China's willingness to engage with us in the spirit of mutual understanding. It did also say that the main focus of the meeting was to follow up on
Yeah,
the
you do.
productive EU-China summit in July.
I really do think we're headed to 695, 698 on ES, but we should be respecting this as our short-term pivot until we can see the sweeper step us down. I think we might just be a little sideways for right now. New 15's opening here in a second. Let's see if they can initiate under the open of this for that next leg, or if we need to retest that 780, 790 on NQ first. Russell's starting to lead down, so that should be what we need, hopefully, for this move to occur. What are we targeting here on NQ? Probably like 745 on next leg. If we're gonna go for that 695 on ES, that'd be my guess. All right, new 15s have opened. POC's above. Watch for offer into that for lower high, if anything. If we don't just get the immediate move down. I'm going to be watching for our offer here on ES, here on NQ. If we're going to retest anything and not just immediately sweep through. Make this red. See where I want to see sellers. And we'll do a footprint overview of this area again, of how we could figure out this pathing beforehand and what we were expecting to play. I think it's really important that you guys start to be able to recognize this stuff as well. Taking off a little more here. We push down. Yes, almost to target. Just moving this over so that you have an understanding of what I'm looking for. Again, just into this lower zone here, into our ADR low. Another day, another dollar. Again, I think 745 here makes sense on NQ. It's like this is our liquidity here. We'll watch to see if we get below this on our offer. This seems like a good target with this liquidity pocket here on NQ. This ES also comes into target. Just take off some risk, move stops down, see what we do. Might need to rotate up first to like 760 from here, and then look for a rotation below. Unsure. But that's the move that we have pathed. Beautiful. Beautiful. With us heading to target, that means I can now delete our chicken scratch on our charts to clean them up a bit. Yeah. See if they just continue this down, if excitement can actually do something with this low. I'm not all that confident in it, but I guess they could. I think that this 695 area is going to be a bit volatile here on ES. But NQ is kind of free falling. See what they do here into it. Yeah. Here are my settings, club. Six pros too for ES. For NQ, it's 10. All right, we're pushing down into target now here. Let's see how we interact. I think that there's a pretty strong possibility that this is our short-term low. I mean, I'm not telling you to knife catch, but we need to watch our edge here because I think any look back up. If like this doesn't hold offer, this could easily come back up. This on a recovery of like 748, 750. Trapping these people below. So we want to see like this edge hold pretty clearly. And see yes below 95s.
Nasdaq 100 slips 0.4% to a
There's
session
Sparrow.
low. S&P 500 down 0.2%.
Do you see how our zone that we were interested in is now this POC to value high on our candle itself? You see how that's kind of playing out? Our pivot has some validity there. See if that offer can hold that. Next target would be 700s on NQ if we can hold this pivot. RTY leading down, just like we wanted. Huge. Yeah, no problem, man. Glad you made some money. See you in a bit. Ain't no way we don't retrace some of this, by the way. You'll have another opportunity to get into this trade. Most definitely.
Finance Ministry documents show that Russia's national defense spending is to fall to 12.6 trillion rubles in 2026 from 13.5 trillion rubles in 2025.
Watch our ES edge for that entry. We're going to get it. Just like we were looking on NQ on the flip of our pivot, right? We'll watch that on ES here at like 95, 98. Or a rotation down to 688 as target. This would be our next target. That holds. I believe this is our 30-second opening range from yesterday, right? So we'd be watching this, our pivot, and then see if we can play this rotation down. If that holds. If I miss you guys on YouTube chat, I'm sorry. They flash play the play thing is trying to go back up to see full comments. Is that a guy or some stream that's playing the news? It is a guy from a stream that is playing the news. So yes to both. It's a guy narrating the news that we pay for, like a squawk service, who has like a terminal in front of him and he just reads off the news all day. That's his job. All right, here's our ES retest, boys. Let's see if this holds or if it flips short term. This should be our retest at least. Russell finding that pop. Watch for Russell weakness again before you look for your next short. Seeing as RTY led the move down while we're watching our pivot here, 695, 698, as well as some sell side pressure from Russell. We need this to find secondary seller to step in. Same thing on NQ. If we're going to get the secondary leg, that would be ideal. Retest and pivots. Again, I think NQ is probably headed down to 700 if we can hold this edge. And ES would be heading down to like 85s if we hold this 95, 98. But don't know how much we're going to have to build here. It's really going to be dependent on if we can hold this edge on first attempt. Retesting lows here. Great first risk off if you're playing off our pivot. RTY leading down again. Beautiful. So this is 4 points so far off of that 95, 98. If you're playing off of that, again, first risk off is always going to be into our low. And same thing on NQ here off of our pivot. First risk off would be here into our low. We're watching to see if Russell can lead down or if this is just going to be a rotation where we build out a lower node here. Heading to target here at 700s on NQ. ES has a bit more wiggle room, but we need RTY to have some more follow through. Buyer pretty clearly showing size at 700 and 695 right now on Dom. So you should be taking off a little size as we push into that, and then just move stops down, let it play, trend. I am now only in my average at 730. I've taken off full size from our positioning at 770 and higher. Oh yeah, of course, Nova.
Oracle
I
receives
still
$80
face
billion
psychological
of demand
barriers.
for high-grade bond sale.
You will, it never goes away, right? But what you have to do is create strategies for yourself on how to prevent those things from occurring, right?
US
Like
stock index
it never
turns
goes
negative.
away.
S&P 500 down 0.4%. The Nasdaq down 0.5%. The Dow down 0.3%.
Just like with anything else in life, and especially something like this where money is on the line, right? Like it's stressful, man, right? Like this is like one of the only jobs where you do poorly and you lose money, right? You don't just get fired, you go negative. So like it's always stressful, and there's always some sort of emotional and mental side to it.
Just a bit more further info into this Oracle
This is
article.
first PT
Oracle
here,
has drawn about
688.
$80 billion of demand for its
700
tranche
target hit.
bond sale, according to a person with knowledge of the matter, as the software maker boosts spending tied to recent cloud infrastructure deals.
But like the thing that
The
you
company is
need,
looking to raise around $15 billion from the investment grade offering. The deal, which may fund a wide range of purposes, including capital spending and debt repayment.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot. This might be your first stream, but like there isn't, I don't really think, I don't know, like book wise, like I don't think a trading specific book is very helpful, but I think more of like a lot of like mentality books and like stuff like that can be, or like thinking in gambles, stuff like that, like gambling books could be good. of like poker books, right? Like understanding statistical edge, stuff like that. But honestly, like I think like the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, help wise, is just reviewing your own trades and figuring out, being like really, really honest with yourself. And like being like, this is who I am as a person. I need to have a real conversation and be like, I know that when I'm in this situation, I behave like this, right? Like, and when I do this, I need to do X, right? Like you need to have like systems in place where it's like, I know that this is who I am as a human being, and it's going to be very hard for me to change. These are the things that I do wrong. These are the things that I do right. These are the situations where I start to lose my patience, or I lose my my ability to think clearly. And so I need to have strategies in place to catch myself in the act to prevent this thing from happening, right? Like if you've got ADHD, you have systems in place so that you actually complete tasks, right? It's not just like, oh, I wrote something down and now I'm going to remember it and I'm going to do it, right? You need to have a way to have accountability. And if that's like, if you're not doing your dishes, if you're not brushing your teeth, if you're not washing your face, if you're not taking your dog out, right? You have to have some sort of system in place to do said thing. And so whatever you need to do for yourself to also put that into your trading perspective, right? Like it's so personal. And so it's very hard to give advice. So like my only advice is to have an honest conversation with yourself and have either an accountability buddy if you need it, right? A friend or a Discord chat or like a community like us where you're talking about your trades, you're being honest about your trades, your wins, your losses, so that you then can grow, right? Like those are the things that I can give as like general feedback. But like most feedback is going to be like, oh, I reviewed my trades and I keep making the same mistake. The mistake is, I take profit too early on my winning trades, and on my losing trades, I let them run too much. And it's like, okay, well, what's the root cause of that? How do we prevent that from happening in the future? Right? It's like, okay, well, now we have to figure out like why I'm doing this. Like, what's the emotional reason I'm doing this? A lot of the time it's I'm uncomfortable with my strategy, right? I'm uncomfortable and I don't know what my edge actually is. And so on my winners, I don't understand where price is
Yes,
headed
Energy
or why
Secretary
it should be
advises
doing,
Alaska
why
LNG
it's
construction
winning.
starting in the next 12 months.
And I'm letting my losers bleed too much, and it's affecting my overall P&L. And I'm doing that because I'm emotional and I don't know how to take a loss, right? And I haven't seen and like I don't know. I mean, it's really hard because it's such a personal topic. But like the general rule is you should be reviewing all of your losing trades at the end of the day and trying to figure out if there was anything that you could have done differently to prevent it. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes shit happens, and that's okay, right? Like you're not going to win everything. Not everything isn't going to be clear all the time. But what matters is that you reviewed it, and if it is something that was in your control, that you can then write it down so that you can prevent it from happening the next, right? Because the best way that to improve your profitability is to remove all of your idiotic trades that were preventable, right? You don't even have to have more edge. All you have to do is prevent all the trades where you had no edge, but you still took a trade and stayed in it while it bled you out. You get rid of like half of your losing trades that were emotional, and all of a sudden you're profitable without having to do anything else. So like that's the first thing that I would recommend you doing is just review, and write down the things where it's like, oh yeah, why did I try to long there? When I went back and reviewed it, it didn't make any sense, right? And then being like, okay, well, this is what in my winning scenarios, this is what it looked like. This is what all I was looking to play around value. We held our value low. I then looked to long, I looked to short, right? Like you have to write everything down. Do it step by step, have a system in place of why you're taking a trade, make it incredibly mechanical so that it's very hard to take it emotionally. It either meets the criteria or it doesn't, right? Like that's how you should be trading in the beginning. Does this trade meet my criteria? If it does, take the trade, right? You have your risk. Allow that risk to be played within your criteria. If it doesn't meet your criteria, you don't touch the market. until you become more comfortable in your setups and with what you know, and what you're confident in, right? You do not take discretionary trades. And by discretionary, I mean things that are generating in the moment with, new MGI that aren't based off of structure, that aren't based off of your mechanical setups, that are just like what we would call like vibe trading, scalping based off of like what's happening trend wise in the moment stuff, scalping, right? You can still scalp, but they have to be based off of mechanical setups, based off of liquidity pockets or a value flip, right? Something that makes sense to you. Focus on those trades first. They should account for like 80% of your trades for a very long time, so that when you go and review them, you have something to put next to them. Like, this was my flip of value trade setup, so that then you can then rate it and be like, did this play out? Did it meet the criteria for this value trade setup? If you don't have that in place, it's going to be very hard to improve. Hopefully that's helpful. No, I don't really do any of that stuff anymore. I have a good system, but my psychology is screwed as hell. I get like blind of my rules when I get emotional. I have reminders in my room, like posters and stuff, but I just don't see them. Yeah, so yeah, I think some books on more focused on like the gambling side of it and like statistical edge would be much better. I think anyone who says that this isn't like gambling is kind of lying to themselves, right? But with this, you have, I would say you have more edge. You have a decent amount of edge, right? Like, it's not like slots here. Like, we can definitely create edge in a market, but it's only if you're actually taking setups that have defined structure, right, and rules, and we can follow the order flow. You have to remember like who you are as a trader. Are you someone who moves the market, or are you someone who's moving with the people who move the market, right? Like, I'm looking to take crumbs in this market. And my job as a trader is to identify the larger participants and where they're sizing and trade around them, right? And then I can play those rotations between the people who are buying and selling and rotating the market in the auction. That's my job as a trader, because I trade small compared to them, and I know that my size has zero effect on the market and I'm at their whims. So my first job is to identify the current buyers and sellers and where they find value, and then trade around said value. If I can't do that, then I'm not trading, because I have zero edge, right? So like, that's the first thing that I have to do as a trader, is I identify where participants are located, so that I know where I'm most likely going to find results. If I can't identify clear buyers and sellers, I do not touch the market, because I have no edge. But yeah, I get what you're talking about, and maybe a book will help you, but it sounds more so like you need to have a hard conversation with yourself and be like the blinds, being blinded when you get emotional and not following your rules anymore sounds like a broader issue than just trading. Not to be rude, right? Like, it sounds like this might be a larger issue that you're going to need to work through before trading is something that is viable. And that's fine, right? Like, that totally makes sense. But like, you need to have some real honest conversations with yourself to figure out what you need to do to prevent yourself from taking L's, right, repeatedly, and to go against yourself. Like, one of the hardest things to do is to not burn yourself. Even when you're aware of it, like, it's only going to hurt you more if you continue to do what you're doing, and you continue to basically trip yourself over and over again repeatedly by not trying to create some sort of system to either like lock you out, right? Like, so like if you can't be, I guess what I'm trying to get at is if you can't be accountable to yourself, then you need to create some sort of rule that does it for you. So a lot of trading platforms have a lockout system where if you take too big of an L on the day, it will lock you out of your account for a period of time. That might be something that you need to do. If you cannot be accountable to yourself and you can't follow your rules, then you need to create a system that locks you out of your, to prevent you from taking stupid trades that are going to screw yourself over, right? Because the last thing you want to do is have a day where you're emotional and you mess up the last month's work that you put into your account, right? In a single day. That's what you want. You want to prevent that as much as possible. So in like a lot of these prop firms and a lot of the platforms, there's a lockout system that you need to use. It sounds like you are a candidate for that very clearly. Because you can't be accountable to yourself yet, right? And like that'll come with time once you start to see the benefits of it working. But definitely put on like a loss limit that locks you out. Yeah, I mean, again, like the general books, maybe they're helpful, maybe they're not. It's really hit or miss, right? Because like a lot of you know exactly why you're losing, right? And so like a book is like a nice way to like kind of feel like you're trying to improve without actually dealing with your own problems. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, right? It's like kind of an avoidance strategy of being like, look, I'm reading this book and it's totally, I'm trying to change. When in reality, you already know why you're losing, right? It's like what I just talked about. You just are unwilling to be accountable to yourself or unable, right? Maybe mentally you just can't do that. Like, but you know why you're losing. You know when you're in a bad trade. You know when you should be cutting your losses. Most of you. But you're not doing it, right? And so like if you can't be accountable to yourself and be honest, then you need to put in a system that it will be honest for you. So like again, like books are helpful to an extent, but at the end of the day, you still have to put it in effect. And so like if you know that you put blinders on and stop following your systems, then a book isn't going to be very helpful because that same information that you've been taking in, right, isn't going to be put into effect. You're going to ignore it just as much. So it's one of those things where you just have to be, again, honest with yourself and what you're actually going to be able to do at the end of the day when things are rough. And that's hard to hear for a lot of people. It's tough having those kind of conversations because people don't want to feel like they don't have control or they don't want to be vulnerable. And so like being honest with yourself and being like, well, I am incapable of doing this and I have to admit that and I need to either I know that I'm not going to improve until I'm honest with myself. Like that's the first thing that's the first conversation you need to have with yourself is I will not improve. I know I will not improve and I know I will not make real steady progress that will last, persist, right? If you will, until I'm honest with myself. Think about like working out or going on a diet. Like sure, you can eat well and you can work out for a couple weeks, but that doesn't matter if you don't stick with it after those couple weeks, right? It doesn't matter if you quit smoking for 2 weeks if you have a cigarette again. It doesn't matter if you went on a diet for 2 weeks if you then eat 3 Big Macs afterwards and then your diet's shit again. You have to be consistent with it. So you have to create strategies that are going to keep you consistent. So you have to make things as easy as possible for you to want to follow them and be accountable to yourself. It is so important that you create rules that are going to work for you, that you will actually be able to follow on a regular basis. And not even just a regular basis, when things are really fucking tough. So it's very easy to follow a system when things are running well. But like you said, when things are bad or when those blinders turn on, you have to have a system in place, a guardrail that's going to keep you in check. And that's the most important thing. That's your entire foundation. If your foundation is weak, when you are weak, everything is going to crumble and you're going to blow up your account. All right, rant over. We're continuing downward. Looks good so far, just in runners. My average is 724 on NQ and 693 on ES, just in my runners here. That being said, Nova, we have like an entire class structure and module on risk management and trading psychology. 2 different modules. If you're a member of the Discord, we have hours and hours of contents of rants like I just did, and like strategies and things that you can implement, and how to journal, how to create a playbook, all of that, the risking and sizing of contracts, what size you should be in, like all of that exists if you're a member. We have tons and tons of Monday class VODs covering all of these topics. All right. Let's see if we can hold this pivot, boys. Just like before, we're watching for something like this, right? Nah, just consolidation on in a downtrend and then a push down. I mean, it's not that big of a drop. Just it's follow through from that what we were talking about, right? Like a lot of sideways action after an initial drop. So sell sides in control, push down, drop, base, drop, continuation. Just a breakout of value and then follow through from sellers. It just feels like a huge move because we were so tight and before. I mean, it's not a bad move, right? Like it's good size, but nothing crazy yet. All right. So this is the ES trade. Got one runner left. And here's my NQ trade. Based off our pivots. Well, this is NQ. Star failure into 810s to look above, looking for
In
that
10 minutes time now, at the
rotation
bottom of the
down,
hour, Bank of
leveraging
England's
into
green
that,
gives a speech in
adding more
Glasgow on
here at
supply
our
shocks
780,
and
790
monetary
flip.
policy.
And then playing that down to our 730. From our 730, adding again. So we've added to this trade 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Right? On all 3 of our pivot flips on the retests. And then just playing that down to our next level.
So for Bank of England's
And
green at the
there's your
bottom of the hour,
move
a text and Q&A are
on
both expected.
NQ. And for ES, enjoyers, this is our move. ES. Copy. Shorting our flip and our push below this pivot. So just playing off of this retest here, just what we talked about. And then rotating it down. Taking out first profit here into 80s. And now we're watching to see if we can hold this. If we can hold, then I'll look for continuation down. If we pop back over 88, most likely going to rotate back up to our 95, which is our entry, right? So I will probably stop out if we don't show sell side pressure here. I'll be expecting that rotation back through this. I want to see like a pretty clear seller into this. Let me just mark this. We want to see selling pressure here and then stepping us back below this for a continuation down. Or what'll happen that will bid here, make a higher low, something like this, and then rotate up like so. Right. So I want to see us show weakness here and get us back below this like 83 level. Or this will be our bid, and then we'll start to look for this buyer to attempt here. Right, that would look something like this on this edge. And then we would do that rotation back up to our offer here where we originally shorted. I would need us to like very clearly over 700s on NQ for me to care. And then we can rotate up to like 730. We can do that. But we should be expecting our offer here into, I don't know, 680, 700. We're basically looking for a look above, failure, offer through, or look above, successful hold, and then rotation to 730. This. What was our catalyst for this downside move? It was Russell, right? So we need to wait for Russell to show weakness again before we look for a secondary short. Until then, bids in play. So we need to see some weakness on Russell. And once that starts to step back in, let's play around our ES and NQ pivots. And then look for that continuation move. But if RTY continues to pop up and we don't see that weakness where we need at our pivots on NQ and ES, then there's no trade for downside continue. At least short term.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, we're expecting comments from Bank of England's Green, where a text and a Q&A are expected.
I will be water. Really great hold on our retest on ES. Awesome. 88's holding, rotating up to our 95. NQ needs to show that interest over 700 still, or we could trap here. But it is looking good for that rotation up to 30s. It looks much more promising from buyers. So, sell side would have to get below 80 and offer for us to care here. It is really trying. We'll see. We would need to see like a very clear flip of our bid to offer at 80. Just like we have
1 minute now
path.
to expect the text release from Bank of England's
From
Green.
this look above, for this not to go to 730 at least. 40 seconds till new 15s. A little volatility stepping in. News also in 40 seconds. You type twice. No, you'll be alright. You're still in. It just won't tell you that you're in because you're already added. What's up, David? New 15s have opened. We're just waiting on news. Trying to flip our pivot here.
So we have posted Bank of England's Green's full speech on the site for those interested, titled "The Supply Side Demands More Attention." In this here, Green says monetary policymakers have tended to look through supply shocks. I think we may need to rethink this approach. I'm not in favor of policy reversals by central banks. And Bank of England's Green says appropriate response to the uncertainty and risks we're currently facing should involve a cautious approach to rate cuts going forward. Green adds that when there is uncertainty around intrinsic inflation persistence, as there currently is, a monetary policymaker should respond to inflation. Inflation may respond to monetary policy more quickly than output when inflation has exceeded the target for an extended period. In this environment, monetary policymakers should offset supply shocks. Bank of England's Green says the risk to inflation outlook has shifted to the upside. S&P 500 bouncing off of session lows, last down around spot 1%. Excuse me, S&P 500 down around spot 35%. Bank of England's Green says I'm less concerned about rapid labour market decline.
What? How is this real? How is this real?
Bank of England screen says the risks of weaker demand have not disappeared, but to my mind, they have diminished.
What's up, Samuel? We're just waiting to see how we interact here at this pivot. Market slowed down quite a bit, holding where we need to on ES. Same on NQ. We either need to see like a very clear
Bank of England
shift
screen says
below
a
80,
cautious approach to rate cuts is needed.
or I just think we rotate up to 730, 740. Same thing on ES. Need to see a very clear hold of this low where we have marked, or we look for a pushback below 83s for continuation down. But I think bid is just going to kind of float here for a bit. Get some two-sided trading for a little bit. See if we can get someone off sides on one of these edges. And go up to either our primary seller, again, up at that 730. Or step down and take out this bid here at 680. And then make that our offer. Flip it. But should expect stop for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if that's happening, Singe. Especially not after when he did his comments on homeless people. That was the craziest take I've ever seen. Just kill him. Just kill him. Man is a little unhinged. Yeah, yep. Just a little.
Bank of England screen says the restrictive stance may mean skipping rate cuts. G7 discussed imposing taxes on China's rare earth exports. No decision has been taken, though, according to sources. So G7 countries are considering price floors for rare earth productions to counter China. The Fed bids for 5-year notes total $3.9 billion.
New 15s have opened. Again, need to get below the 680 and offer, or we're just chopping. Need a nap, man. Is it should be happening relatively soon here, SK. But if you're not here to claim it, and to give a message, then you probably will not receive it. It's just not fair.
In 10 minutes' time now, at the top of the hour, the US is due to sell $70 billion in 5-year notes. The prior high yield was 3.724%, and the prior bid to cover was 2.36. So on the session today, Treasuries are edging lower, building an outright concession ahead of this $70 billion sale, which followed a 2-year note auction yesterday, which stopped through marginally through the when-issued yield. This week's auctions conclude on Thursday with a $44 billion 7-year note sale as well. Strategists at JP Morgan flagged the backdrop of a strong belly to intermediate primary demand, along with cheap valuations and supportive technicals, as reason for why the auction is expected to be digested smoothly. Also, taking note of the latest CFTC positioning data, which shows that speculators were net short 2.5 million 5-year note futures, a near record amount and a possible source of covering demand at the auction.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Final call for signups, and then go ahead and pass it over to me, the file sig, and then we'll get this started.
Yep. If you have not already, type !play in chat to join the giveaway. Entries will close soon. Give it a couple more seconds. If you're not in, that's your own fault. Been on screen for an hour and a half. Better surf. All right, last call. !play in YouTube chat if you want to join the giveaway. I will be closing it now. This is your last chance. All right, I think that's everyone. Close. Yeah, we can kind of just like predict when the market's going to get choppy like this. And then we just play around like very clear pivots. Like as long as we're just rotating between these two, like none of this matters. We were able to identify that on first touch. Now it's just drop.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the top of the hour, the US is due to sell $70 billion in 5-year notes. The prior high yield was 3.724%, and the prior bid to cover was 2.36.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, let me bring up your stream.
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I forgot to click bots again.
Yeah.
We can fix this. Where'd you go? There it is. Bots. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do 5 total races. Leaderboard should automatically tally it. Winner take all. Gonna get a 50K growth account. That's the end of day. No activation fee, so totally free. Good luck, everybody. Give you a quick overview of the map. It's a nice mountaintop map. Large drop down, just like the market today. And we're off. 77 total contestants. You got a 1 in 77 chance. Lemon looks kind of in the shuffle, hard to. Ooh, they got falling rocks that go down. It's like Donkey Kong. Gotta dodge the rocks like the barrels. All right, Sugar Rush up to the early lead, pulling away. Hopefully he can dodge the rocks. Oh, there goes Ryan McGrath, Jason, BMO,
Yikes.
Alex, 60, Max, Adderall, Rory. Bye, Rory. Traders, Joe. See you, Trade Tactics. You're all dead.
07 in the chat.
See you, Josh. Oh, we lost, what, like a quarter of everyone? All right. Ryan Ortiz off to the small lead. And there goes Abe. Abe got kicked off the track. There goes... Ooh, Dream. Did Dream just skip ahead here with Vegeta?
Hacking?
Looks like they're hacking. No, they probably...
Yeah.
They fell off the map and...
Gotta get
instantly
dropped.
got caught. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're getting through the rocks there. I don't know if anyone's going to catch Vegeta at this point unless he dies. This nice snowflake here. The herd kind of thinned out a little.
He went on the track with no borders.
Oh no! Well, that's so much for cheating. Cheaters never prosper. Dream's back in the lead. Just don't want to go down the middle unless you can Rainbow Road that stuff. I think Dream's going for the snowflake. See if they can make it through.
1 minute remaining now until we get
dead.
the US 5-year when issued yield.
Bye, Joe. Alright, I think Dream's got a good shot here. Not many obstacles left. One more section to die on, I think. Unless those are tunnels. Oh, they're just tunnels. Never mind. I think he's got this one in the bag. Yep, secured. Alright, Sugar coming in second. Still matters what place you come in because we're going to do 5 total races and your points add up. Just because you lose this one doesn't mean you're out of it. Ooh, well, there goes Resilient Trader.
10 seconds.
There comes the fire down the mountainside. Get the stragglers. Oz, they're not doing so hot. I think the fire is going to get them. Sim funded. Nice. Here comes the fire. Only Oz chilling. He can't get out of that snowflake. All right, Dreams 43. You won the first race. 4 more. We're just going to go right into it. Go back to back to back.
3.709%. Again, the Treasury
gonna
when
pop
issued
the
5-year yield,
be safe.
3.709% ahead of the auction.
Just never know. All right, random track. We're just going to go right into the next one. And start. Ooh, space station. This is an interesting one.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. It's like a big old space station.
We're now shortly expecting the results from the US 5-year note auction. I'll lead with the high yield.
Some loop-de-loops to start out. Good luck on the loop-de-loops. Hopefully you guys don't get thrown off. A lot of loop-de-loops. It looks like we got a jump here through the space station. Oh wow, you guys are cruising. I can't even keep up with the camera.
Oh, God.
Oh God, what is happening? I don't like that at all. Got a little claustrophobic there.
Yeah, same.
All right, Sim funded out to the early lead.
Uh.
Got caught on something there. Looks like there's some breakers popping up there.
3.71%, 3.71%
up,
compared to
Josh
the
Richmond
pre-sale when
leads,
issued
followed
yield of
by
3.709%,
and
which is
Ola.
a tail of 0.1 basis points. The bid to cover
Oh, never mind.
2.34,
He
2.34.
had a shot.
US there sending
Chang.
$70 billion,
Oh, there goes Jams.
awarding 41.92% of bids at high. Primary dealers take 11.94%, direct 28.64%,
Jogger.
indirect 59.42%.
We'll just go with Patel. That sounds better. Josh got this one in the bag. Congrats, Josh, on the second map win. Lemon, followed by Chris, Olak, Tactics, Clubhouse, Sean, Mayonnaise, Rory, and Super Saiyan running out the top 10. There's this lens fell off the map. Looks like the fire won't need to come into play this map at least. Steven E pulling up the rear. Battle for last right now. Oh, can he? Yep, nope. Locked in last. All right. Congratulations, Josh. You won race number 2. All right. Random track. Here we go. Race number 3. It's like now we get like sunset ocean view or something. I don't even know what this is. What are we on? Jupiter or something? Could this be like Uranus? There's like clouds down there. Oh, nice. I could probably just do this and watch it with a single view.
Holy.
Well, I guess some people didn't want to live today. Ryan McGrath dead again. Seems to be dying a lot. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry about that. Alex Ross coming out in first place. Can he hold on to it? There goes Turbo off the map. There goes Guy Samuel. Turbo, Pulsar, Patel, Max. Getting hit with those bumpers. Whoa, what just happened there? Odin, you going for a flight? Going for a flight? Splat. See if we can get some close-up action here. See what's going on. Got a spinner right here. Lemon. Lemon's been doing good every race. I feel like I've been saying his name a lot.
Yep.
There goes Bad Beta. Glockman pulling into the lead. There goes Soul. Kiz pulling up the rear. I feel like Kiz would be like one of those people that would have a sign in their house that says backdoor guests are best. You ever see that?
No, but I understand.
I think Glockman's got this in the bag unless there's some, oh, what's going on here? Maybe not. Maybe not.
I'm leave.
Wait, yeah.
Easy.
Oh, love it.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
did he just die at the last second? Oh, you got to make it through the loop. Oh, everyone's just falling off the map. What's going on?
Unlucky.
Dude, no one's making it through. Look at that.
Scammed.
Macron says there are only hours left for Iran to avoid sanctions.
Oh, wow. I did not realize there was a great filter at the end.
Yikes.
Dang. What a twist. Only 7 people finished that race. That's crazy. All right, 2 more. Let's go. And we're off. Looks like we just got a big snow what is it? Slalom? Ski slalom? Little 9 Soul out to the early lead. Ooh, there's falling rocks down here. Let's see what happens. Shooting out of the cannons. Soul holding on to his lead. Is the rock gonna get him? Ooh, Vin. With the skip ahead. This looks like there's a jump at the end, so you gotta make the
there's
jump.
a lot of death.
It's calm before the storm. No one's died yet. Lemon, what the heck is going on with Lemon? He's in first again? I mean, I don't think he didn't make it last race, so he didn't actually win. I think he died. Otherwise, it would be probably in the bag if he took this one. The way he's been placing.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to drink a coffee.
I know, man.
Lemon's got that weighted ball, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just a rock. Thought someone fell off.
Oh, we finally got over 700.
Oh, what is going on here? How's this gonna work?
If you don't have enough momentum, then you die. That's what it looks like.
Oh no, and the other people are blocking the other people. They're all getting caught. Adhere, can he make it? No, I don't think. Oh, there goes the first soul. Braveheart's dead. M's dead. And now, I guess the massacre starts.
I think it's gonna pay off to be near the end. Uh-oh.
Oh, there goes Himsma. There goes Noah. Whoa, Prophet. Adhere, I think Adhere might be in. Nope, hold on. Someone in the middle here. We got a whole group here. It's like they're grouped up. This looks interesting. Clubhouse pulling out to the lead. Lemon not doing so hot anymore. Alright, I'm gonna go to the final and get a view.
Boy.
See who can make the jump.
Good luck.
Victor just died. That should be a good view. Oh, Katie! Out of nowhere! I don't even think I've called that name yet. Consistency followed by Resilient, Traders Grind, Sugar, SKP, Josh Rich, Mayonnaise, Unicorn, 60 Hour, and then Divine Soul rounding out your top 10, and we just got people splatting left and right besides that.
Oracle launches $18 billion investment grade bond sale. And Oracle launches $18 billion
goes Joe.
investment grade bond sale.
Oz 0.
Pushing in a target here, guys, off of our hold of 680 and then rotation over 700. Watch your 730 to 745 above.
People dying like crazy. Pew, 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 pew. Emil, where are you going? Flat. Trade Tactics pulling up the rear and got killed by the fire. All right, one more race. Congrats, Katie. You're in the running.
Again, this is first PT on NQ. If you're playing off the 680 and flip over 700s, this is our pivot.
So a reminder, earlier on in the day, Oracle aimed to raise about $15 billion from corporate bond sale. The proceeds include fund future investments. And then we had later on a headline that Oracle received $80 billion of demand for high-grade bond sale. And now Oracle launches $18 billion investment grade bond sale.
All right, seems like we always get this race. So
Oracle shares
do it
falling
again.
1.6% after reports the company looks to raise. Excuse me, ignore that.
Well, there's quite a delay on the YouTube. It looks like, unless I'm not caught up all the way. All right, down the toilet bowl we go. Get a good view of this.
Just keep an eye on Oracle shares. Currently just down around about 3.36%. OpenAI and Tokyo Marine
Follow
Fund
the first leader
AI
for the
agent.
bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. Follow whoever's in first. Basil, you gonna land on the track? Oh yeah. Hola, pulling out to the lead. Let me know if you guys like this view better than the overview where we just follow the first place person. Oh, Hola, just locked it in. Alright, here come the deaths. Katie pulling up with the second. She might have a shot at it. Pulling up in the finish. Oh, look at everyone just falling off. It's a massacre out there. Jeez.
Axios, Trump and Witkoff present Gaza peace plan to Arab leaders.
Oof. We got 5 people finishing so far. Doesn't help that the finish line's moving. See Kowalski.
So according to 3 sources cited by
Ryan, do
Axios,
it.
Trump and
Ryan's
White House
dead.
envoy Witkoff presented Arab and Muslim leaders
Clubhouse made
with
it
an
in.
outline
Bino,
for ending
Traders
the war in
Grind.
Gaza for post-Hamas governance.
Believe it or not, Resilience in last and could still get 10th place. Nope, he's dead. No, did he win? Did he get in there? He got in there.
Wow.
No way. Last ball still made top 10.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, let's go to the winner podium. All right, so I think we go to... No, that's not it. I think we go to the main menu now. Race menu.
So the headline of the article is Trump's Gaza peace plan gets support from regional leaders, according to sources. We'll pop out the article shortly.
The hub I go to, local. And then I go to podium. I didn't enable it. That's my fault. Okay, I'm gonna have to plug this into ChatGPT and have them figure it out.
Yeah, you at least copied them all.
I did, yes.
So from the article then, it says the main principles are the release of all remaining hostages, permanent ceasefire, gradual Israeli withdrawal from all of the Gaza Strip, a post-war plan that includes a governing mechanism in Gaza without Hamas, security force that would also include Palestinians, but also soldiers from Arab and Muslim nations, Arab and Muslim funding for the new administration in Gaza, and for reconstruction of the enclave.
Again, we've
And
hit
some
first
involvement
target
from the
here.
Palestinian Authority.
Need to flip over 50 for more upside, or there is nothing else here. We held our 680, no look
And
below
then
and
from the
hold.
Arab side, what it
Rotation
says
up
is
to
that
target.
according to 2 sources, they presented Trump with several conditions for supporting his plan. That Israel will not annex parts of the West Bank or Gaza. That Israel
He's
will not
tallying it up right
occupy
now.
parts of
Just give it a
Gaza
sec.
and will not build settlements in Gaza. And Israel will stop undermining the status quo at the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Yeah,
And
just give
humanitarian
me
aid to Gaza
give
will
me 2
immediately
minutes.
increase. Surely expecting the Fed reverse repo operation data.
A 50K growth. No activation fee. No intraday drawdown.
All right. Tallying is being made now, and we will get a winner here in a second.
What we're watching for here, guys, is a very clear hold of this node and then a look above if we're going to continue upward. The next target, which would be into 790. If this fails to hold, then we look below 680, then downside is very likely and probably with speed. So we want to see a very clear hold of this node here, right? And if we can do that, then we can keep going up. This fails.
So I used a
That'll be
grading
bad.
system
Yep.
of winner gets 91 points because there's 91 racers, and loser gets 0 and 91 through 0. And so according to that, Ola is the winner, followed by Aramanati in second, Aram
22
Trading
counterparties
in
take
third,
29.172
Sugar Rush in
billion
fourth,
dollars at Fed reverse
Katie
repo
Briggs
operation.
in fifth, followed by Traders Grind, Dreams, Chris, Sean, and Glockman rounding out the top 10. So, Ola, you are the winner. Ola, go ahead and message me on Discord, and you can either send me a DM or you can open up a help ticket in the TFC Discord.
Let's make sure he's here first, because there are a couple people who signed up and then dipped.
Well, it's not my fault they dipped.
Yeah, but if they're not here, then go to the second place.
Oh, he just talked.
Yeah. Awesome. HOLA. Yeah, you won. So message Tom on Discord. Congrats. We'll have another one on Friday.
I'll post the screenshot in the chat so you know I didn't favoritism anyone. So Ola, send me a message. I'll get you that coupon code, get you a free 50K growth account. Good luck on your trading. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you Friday. Friday, we're going to do something a little different. Instead of giving away a Tradeify account, we're going to give a couple other prizes away, so stay tuned for that.
Honestly, better than a prop account.
The value of the giveaway Friday will be the largest of all giveaways we've done so far, so it should be pretty exciting.
Yep. All right, awesome. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thanks, Sig. We'll see you later.
Yep. I'm gonna be signing off here in a second, just seeing if this trade's gonna play out. If not, then I'm out. Actually, there's really not much for me to do here. We could still chop
According
for
to
a bit.
Transport at Secretary Duffy, The
We
US
just want to
warns
see if our value
European
edge
nations
holds or
not
if
to
this
restrict
fails.
air travel
That's
in
literally it.
violation of bilateral agreements.
I'm taking off my first risk here from the short from our edge at our highs. I'm looking to see if our bid is placed here. Again, we are looking to see if this lower edge holds, to see if this bid is now where the seller was previously at our 700s. 700, 710 ideally would be the best hold, but I mean, anything here is just chop between this balance. Sell side only has power if we get below this 80 and can then hold that bid, that offer. Should be expecting our buyer to be here, right? And if they can hold here, we need to see them take out our 50s. If they take out 50s, we rotate up. Then we just start heading back to POC. Why are we heading back to POC? Why would that be our target? What are we recovering here on our lows? What is this? What is this level? Any guessers? Value. Yeah, it's our value low, right? So if we are back inside value, then we would look to target our POC. Right? But if this fails here, then we'll be watching for a look below our value after a failure to look above and hold, right? So look above failure, and then we would then look below and then watch our offer. Because what does it mean if this guy tries here, attempts, but then fails to sustain above? Well, then all those buyers are trapped, right? And then we'll play with them off sides, and then we can use them as a catalyst for the offer on the way down to give us speed. Because we wouldn't just have sellers in the market, we would have buyers who need to close their position. And when you close a position, you sell to close, which is a secondary catalyst for our sellers to show acceleration with our already primary sellers in the market, right? So it's very, very important that we see bids hold here, sustain, and push these highs if we're going to push up. And again, this would be target 1, then we'd be looking for this to be target 2. So we'll see what happens, but this is our first target after our hold of our 680s, which we identified, and then we popped up to target. So now it's just a matter of, can we build here above value, or does this fail, and do we push below this node? Compassion Core is my Discord. Okay, did you join the TFC Discord? You can just make a ticket or message Tom directly. I'll make sure that he knows that's your name. I can't really stay for this trade to complete, honestly. Gotta go. But this is the plan. So I would just pay attention to your pivots here. Nothing's really changing. Again, like we've very clearly identified that this is where our seller is sitting. This is our value, POC of our sell side candle. It is where POC of our last candle was. It is where our value high of our current candle, our last candle was, right?
Bank of
It's the
England's
same as
screen
before.
in the
I need to see
Q&A
us
part of
above
the
this
session
for
now says
upside.
disinflation process is slowing and caution is needed.
Or we should expect that to be where that offer rests. If we hold and we can't get over this like 28, 30 area, that is a good sign that sell side is in control, right? If we can't get over this, because that would be our first lower high off of our primary seller. Our downtrend. Down. Just kind of like visualize it like that. But yep. I am out of here. that is all I got for today. I would say that target wise, if we can get over
Green
this
says
50
neutral rate
and
of
hold,
interest has
would be
increased.
790. So you'd get another 40 points if we can sustain above 50. So even if you're unwilling to play off of the 700 to 680 edge, understand that a flip over 50s in bid should result in at least 40 more points to upside in 790 for your reversion trade. What I mean by reversion trade is that is where our 15-minute VWAP is, right? What is our VWAP been today? Well, it's been resistance, right? So as we push up into this pivot at our 780, 790, I would be expecting that
Green
to be where
says
our
it's
sell
not
side
clear
is
the
sitting as well,
policy is
as well as
meaningfully
our bottom of
restrictive.
this structure. So if a seller was anywhere, I'd expect that to be kind of our reversion area. And we'd be looking to take profit into that until it flips. If we can flip this, then we have two primary targets, 810, which is where we offered for our short to the downside, right? That was our play. We shorted the downside, all of this from 810. And if we were able to flip 810s, we'd be rotating back up into our offer here at 850. Right, that's the upside trade. Right now, you're stuck in between these two pivots. Again, need to get below 680 for continuation down. That needs to offer and go resistant, and then we can look for new lows. If this continues to just build here, you're playing around this balance, right? 680, 700. 700 holds, we go up. Flip 750s, go to 790. Is that clear? Any questions before I leave, or are we good? All right, sounds like we're good. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. After the stream ends, I will put my link to my charts in chat so that you can reference them while I'm not here. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.